The champagne cork hit the ceiling with a sound like a gunshot. 300 people erupted into applause. My brother Marcus stood at the podium, grinning like he'd won the lottery. In a way, he had. $3 million. That's what his company, Apex Digital Solutions, had just sold for. The buyer, a tech conglomerate from Seattle, had closed the deal that morning. I sat at table 12, the cheap seats in the back corner, watching him bask in glory that wasn't his. The leather portfolio on my lap weighed almost nothing. Inside were 32 pages that would turn this celebration into a funeral. I'd waited 5 years for this moment. 5 years of silence, strategy, and documentation. Now, as Marcus raised his glass and said, "To the American dream," I stood up. The room went quiet. He saw me. His smile faltered for just a second. "Before I tell you what happened when I opened that portfolio, tell me where you're watching from. Drop a comment so I know I'm not the only one who's learned that sometimes family will steal everything, including your name on the door." Let me take you back to where this started. Not 5 years ago. 23 years ago, when I was 16 and Marcus was 19. Our father, Richard Donovan, owned a small print shop in Portland, Oregon. Donovan Print and Copy. It smelled like ink and paper dust. Dad ran it for 30 years, barely keeping the lights on. When he died of a heart attack in 2001, he left it to both of us. 50-50, the will was clear. I have a copy. I've always had copies. Marcus was the golden child. Loud, charismatic, the kind of guy who could sell ice to Eskimos, as Mom used to say. I was the quiet one. The one who showed up at 6 a.m. to fix the machines, balance the books, deal with angry customers. Nobody noticed. That was fine. I didn't need applause. I needed the business to survive. By 2008, the print shop was dying. Digital was eating everything. Marcus had just graduated college with a business degree and big ideas. "We need to pivot," he said one night over beers. "Digital marketing. Web design. That's where the money is." I agreed. I'd been teaching myself code for 2 years already. HTML, CSS, basic JavaScript. While Marcus was partying through business school, I was building websites for local restaurants and gyms on the side. I showed him my portfolio. 12 sites. All functional. All paid. "This is perfect," Marcus said, eyes lighting up. "You build, I sell. We rebrand. Apex Digital Solutions. Clean slate. New industry." I was 23. Stupid. Trusting. When he said, "Let me handle the paperwork," I said okay. The paperwork. That's where it started. We filed the LLC in January 2009. Marcus handled it. I was elbow-deep in code, building our first real client site, a local brewery that paid us $8,000. When the incorporation documents came back, my name was listed as technical consultant. Not partner. Not co-owner. Consultant. I remember staring at the document in our cramped office above the old print shop. "Marcus, this says I'm a consultant." He waved it off. "It's just legal jargon, Ryan. Makes taxes easier. Trust me, we're 50-50. Dad would have wanted that. I should have fought it. I should have hired a lawyer. But he was my brother. We'd split everything since we were kids. Comics, video games, the last slice of pizza. Why would this be different? Because money changes people. Or maybe it just reveals who they always were. For the first 3 years, we were a team. I built every website. Every app. Every line of code that made Apex function was mine. Marcus did sales, client meetings, networking events. He was good at it. By 2012, we were pulling in $400,000 a year. By 2015, $1.2 million. I worked 70-hour weeks. I slept in the office half the time. My girlfriend left me because I missed her sister's wedding to fix a server crash. I didn't go to my college roommate's funeral because we had a pitch meeting Marcus scheduled. Every sacrifice, I told myself, was for us. For the business we built. Marcus bought a house in 2014. 4 bedrooms, Mountain View. I was still renting a studio apartment. When I asked when I'd see my share of the profits, he said, "It's reinvested, Ryan. Business 101. You'll get yours when we sell." Red flag number 1. I ignored it. In 2016, Marcus got married. Big wedding. 200 guests. Open bar. He asked me to be best man. I said yes. At the rehearsal dinner, his fiancée Amanda toasted him. To Marcus, who built an empire from nothing. From nothing. I was sitting right there. I'd coded until my eyes bled to make that empire possible. Nobody corrected her. Not Marcus. Not Mom. Not the college buddies who thought my brother was Steve Jobs reborn. Red flag number 2. By 2018, Apex had 20 employees. I managed the dev team. Marcus handled business development, which meant golf trips and steak dinners with potential clients. We landed a contract with a national retailer. $2.3 million over 3 years. I built the entire platform. 6 months, barely sleeping. When the client sent the first payment, I asked Marcus, "What's my cut?" He laughed. "Your salary is your cut, buddy. You're making $120,000. That's great money. $120,000. For owning half a business doing 7 figures in revenue. Marcus, the LLC. The LLC is mine, Ryan." His tone shifted. Cold. Final. Check the documents. You're an employee. A highly valued employee, but an employee. If you want more, prove you're worth more. That night, I went home and pulled the original incorporation papers from my files. He was right. The ownership structure listed Marcus Donovan as 100% owner. My name appeared once, under technical consultant, contracted services. I'd been working for my brother, not with him. For 9 years. I should have quit. I should have sued. But I did something smarter. I started building a case. I learned 2 things working in digital: code doesn't lie, and metadata is forever. Every email I'd ever sent from my Apex account was still on the server. Every file I'd created had my name in the properties. Every contract I negotiated, every client proposal I'd written, every website I'd built from scratch, it all had digital fingerprints. And I'd been the one managing the servers. I didn't delete anything. I copied everything. 3 external hard drives. Cloud backups under an account Marcus didn't know existed. Every late-night email where I solved a crisis. Every text where he admitted he didn't understand the technical stuff, that's your area. Every meeting note where clients specifically requested Ryan's expertise. I hired a lawyer. Not a family lawyer. A corporate attorney. Mitchell Reese, 57, sharp as broken glass. I met him in his downtown office on a Saturday morning in March 2019. "Tell me everything," he said. I did. The print shop inheritance. The 50-50 promise. The incorporation documents Marcus filed without my review. 9 years of building a company that legally wasn't mine. Mitchell read through the paperwork I'd brought. His expression didn't change, but his pen moved faster. "Your brother committed fraud," he said finally. "Potentially. The original inheritance gave you 50% of your father's business assets. If Apex was built using those assets, the property, the client list, the brand equity, you have a case for ownership claim. Can we prove that? Can you?" I smiled. Every piece of equipment we bought in 2009 was purchased with funds from selling the print shop assets. I have the receipts. Every early client came from Dad's old Rolodex. I have the contact logs. The original office space was the print shop building. I have photos, lease documents, everything. Mitchell leaned back. Bring me everything. Every document. Every email. Every file. I'll need 6 months minimum to build this case. And Mr. Donovan, I need to be clear, this will destroy your relationship with your brother. We don't have a relationship, I said. We have a theft in progress. For the next 18 months, I lived a double life. At work, I was the dependable little brother. I showed up. I coded. I smiled at Marcus's jokes. I attended company parties. When he promoted himself to CEO and gave me the title Chief Technology Officer, I accepted with a handshake. At night, I worked with Mitchell. We built a case that could withstand nuclear assault. Exhibit A, the print shop sale documents showing $180,000 in assets split 50-50 between Marcus and me. $90,000 each. Exhibit B, the initial Apex business account, funded with $85,000 in January 2009. Source, the print shop liquidation. Exhibit C, the original client list for Apex. 23 names. Every single one came from Dad's print shop records. Exhibit D, email chains where Marcus explicitly referred to Apex as our company and our business in writing. 47 instances between 2009 and 2016. Exhibit E, contribution documentation. I compiled a spreadsheet showing every website, every app, every piece of code I'd personally created. Over 300 projects. Estimated value if contracted externally, $4.2 million. Exhibit F, text messages. In 2013, I'd texted Marcus asking about profit distribution. His response, "We'll settle up when we sell. You've got half coming, don't worry." Screenshot saved. Timestamped. Backed up in 3 locations. Mitchell filed the lawsuit in November 2020. Not publicly. Sealed documents. We alleged fraudulent misrepresentation, breach of fiduciary duty, and conversion of inherited assets. We didn't ask for damages. We asked for equity recognition. 50% ownership of Apex Digital Solutions, retroactive to 2009. Marcus's lawyer called it delusional. We went to mediation in February 2021. Marcus walked in wearing a $3,000 suit and confidence that filled the room. I wore khakis and a button-down. I let him talk first. "Your Honor, my brother is confused. He's been a valued employee, well compensated. This is about jealousy, not ownership." Mitchell opened his briefcase. "Let's talk about the $180,000 inheritance." Marcus's lawyer interrupted. "That was spent on the print shop closure." "No," Mitchell said calmly. "It was deposited into the Apex business account on January 14, 2009. Here's the bank statement. Here's the deposit slip. Mr. Ryan Donovan's $90,000 was used to capitalize this company without his knowledge that he wouldn't receive equity." The mediator frowned. Marcus shifted in his seat. Mitchell continued. "Here are 47 emails where Mr. Marcus Donovan refers to Apex as our company. Here are text messages promising profit sharing. Here is documentation showing that 93% of Apex's technical output was created solely by Ryan Donovan, without whom the company would not exist." Marcus's lawyer called for a recess. In the hallway, Marcus cornered me. "Ryan, what the hell are you doing? Getting what's mine. I gave you a job. I gave you a career. You'd be nowhere without me." I looked at him. Really looked. The brother who used to split candy bars with me. Who taught me to ride a bike. Who cried at Dad's funeral and promised we'd always take care of each other. That person was gone. Maybe he'd never existed. "You stole from me," I said quietly. "For 11 years. I'm taking it back." Mediation failed. We went to discovery. That's when Marcus realized how screwed he was. My documentation was airtight. Every email. Every file. Every piece of metadata showing I'd built the company while he played golf. His lawyer advised settlement. Marcus refused. It's my company. I'll burn it down before I give him half. Pride. It's always pride. We were scheduled for trial in September 2023. Then, in August, Marcus got an offer. A Seattle tech firm wanted to acquire Apex for $3.2 million. All cash. Close in 60 days. He called me into his office. I'm selling. You can't sell without resolving the lawsuit. He smiled. Watch me. I'll tie this up in appeals for years. By the time you get a judgment, there'll be nothing left to collect. That's when I called Mitchell. Can he do this? Technically, yes. But Ryan, if he sells while the lawsuit is active, we can file an emergency injunction. We can freeze the sale, or better yet, we can let it go through and attach a lien to the proceeds. If you win, you collect from the sale. How confident are you that we'll win? 95%. Your documentation is the best I've seen in 30 years of practice. I thought about it for exactly 5 seconds. Let him sell. Don't file the injunction. Let him think he won. Mitchell paused. You want to wait until after the sale? I want to wait until he celebrates. I want him to feel safe. Then I want to take everything. Mr. Donovan, you're scarier than you look. I learned from the best, I said. My brother taught me that family doesn't mean anything when money's involved. The sale closed on October 15, 2023. Marcus scheduled a celebration party for October 21 at the Waterfront Hotel. 300 people. Employees, clients, investors, family. Mom flew in from Arizona. Our aunts and uncles. High school friends Marcus hadn't spoken to in years but suddenly remembered when there was a party to throw. I received an invitation. Printed on heavy cardstock. Celebration of success, the Apex story. I RSVP'd yes. Brought a date. My lawyer. The ballroom was decorated like a tech conference. Apex logos everywhere. A slideshow played on a massive screen showing the journey of the company. Marcus shaking hands with clients. Marcus giving a TED Talk. Marcus accepting a 40 under 40 award. I appeared in exactly 3 photos. Background. Blurry. Cropped at the edge. Mom hugged me when I arrived. I'm so proud of both my boys. You two built something amazing together. I smiled. We'll see. Dinner was surf and turf. Open bar. A jazz band played while people networked. I sat at table 12 with Mitchell, eating slowly, watching Marcus work the room like a politician. He was good. Shaking hands, telling stories, making people laugh. He'd always been good. At 8 p.m., the lights dimmed. Marcus took the stage. Spotlight. Microphone. The room fell silent. Thank you all for being here tonight, he began. 15 years ago, I had a dream. A vision of building something meaningful in the digital space. They said print was dead. I said, then let's build the future. They. Not we. Not my brother and I. They. He continued. It wasn't easy. Long nights. Risky decisions. Moments when I wanted to quit. But I persevered. And tonight, we celebrate the result. Apex Digital Solutions has been acquired for $3 million. Applause erupted. People stood. Marcus beamed. This money isn't just for me. It's for everyone who believed in this vision. My incredible team, my supportive family, and everyone who said yes when I asked for a chance. He raised his glass. To the American dream. To hard work. To never giving up. To Marcus, someone shouted. The room echoed it. To Marcus. I stayed seated. Mitchell glanced at me. Now? Now. I stood up. In a room of 300 people, the movement was barely noticeable. But Marcus saw me. He was mid-sip of champagne. Our eyes met. I walked toward the stage. Not rushed. Not dramatic. Just steady. The room's attention shifted. Conversations faltered. The jazz band's saxophone trailed off into an awkward note. "Ryan?" Marcus said into the microphone. His voice had that forced cheer. "Did you want to say something, buddy?" I reached the stage steps. Climbed them. Stood next to my brother under the spotlight. The screen behind us still showed his face, smiling, successful, untouchable. "Actually, yes," I said. "I do." He handed me the microphone reluctantly. "Make it quick, we've got cake coming." I turned to face the room. 300 faces. Some curious. Some confused. Mom looked worried. "My name is Ryan Donovan," I said. "I'm Marcus's younger brother. Most of you know me as the CTO of Apex. Some of you have worked with me for years. A few of you don't know I exist." Nervous laughter rippled through the crowd. "I want to tell you a story. In 2001, our father died and left us a print shop. 50-50. Equal inheritance. In 2009, we used that inheritance to start Apex Digital Solutions. Marcus handled the paperwork. I built the technology." Marcus's smile was frozen. "Ryan, this isn't really the time." I held up a hand. For 11 years, I worked 70-hour weeks building every website, every app, every system that made this company successful. I was told we were partners. I was told I'd get my share when we sold. The room was dead silent now. Last week, Marcus sold Apex for $3 million. He deposited that money into his personal account this morning. I know because I checked the corporate bank records an hour ago. My share of that sale, according to the legal structure Marcus created without my knowledge? I paused. $0. Someone gasped. Marcus grabbed my arm. "Ryan, you're drunk. Let's talk outside." I pulled my arm free. Mitchell was already walking toward the stage, carrying the leather portfolio. "This is my attorney, Mitchell Reese. For the past 2 years, we've been building a lawsuit. We've documented everything. The inheritance theft. The fraudulent incorporation. The 11 years of labor I provided while being denied equity." Mitchell reached the stage and handed me the portfolio. I opened it. 3 days ago, the judge in our case issued a preliminary ruling. Based on the evidence, the court found probable cause that Marcus Donovan committed fraud in the formation of Apex Digital Solutions. I pulled out the first document. Held it up to the light. This is the ruling. It states that I am entitled to 50% ownership of Apex, retroactive to 2009. It also states that any sale of the company conducted during active litigation is subject to asset freeze and equitable distribution. Marcus's face had gone gray. "That's not, you can't." "This," I said, pulling out the second document, "is an emergency court order issued this afternoon. It freezes the $3 million Marcus deposited into his account this morning. As of 4 p.m. today, those funds are held in escrow pending final judgment." The room erupted. Not applause. Shock. Gasps. Someone dropped a glass. Marcus lunged for the microphone, but Mitchell stepped between us. "And this," I said, holding up the final document, "is the settlement agreement my lawyer sent to Marcus's attorney this morning. It offers him a choice. Accept a 50-50 split of the sale proceeds, or go to trial where the court will likely award me not just 50%, but damages for 11 years of wage theft." I looked directly at my brother. His face was red now. Veins bulging in his neck. "You snake," he hissed. "You ungrateful, jealous snake." I'm not ungrateful, I said quietly. I'm just done being stolen from. I handed the microphone to Mitchell and walked off the stage. The room parted like the Red Sea. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. I reached my table, picked up my coat, and headed for the exit. Behind me, Marcus's voice cracked through the speakers. He's lying. Somebody call. Mom intercepted me at the door. Her face was pale, mascara smudged. Ryan, what have you done? What I should have done 10 years ago, I said. Protected myself. He's your brother. Then he should have treated me like one. I left. Mitchell followed. We walked through the hotel lobby, past the marble columns and crystal chandeliers, into the October night. The air smelled like rain and salt water. That, Mitchell said, was the most satisfying moment of my legal career. I didn't feel satisfied. I felt tired. 23 years of being invisible. 11 years of being exploited. 2 years of fighting for what was mine. But I also felt something else. Free. The lawsuit settled 4 days later. Marcus had no choice. The evidence was overwhelming, and the court order had frozen his access to the sale proceeds. His lawyer advised him that going to trial would result in not just losing half the money, but potentially facing criminal fraud charges. The settlement was simple. The $3 million was split 50-50 after taxes and legal fees. I received $1.35 million. Marcus kept $1.35 million. We also agreed to a mutual non-disparagement clause, which meant neither of us could publicly trash the other. Fine by me. The truth had already done the talking. I never went back to the Apex office. HR shipped me my personal belongings in 3 boxes. A coffee mug. Some books. A framed photo of me and Dad from 2000, standing in front of the print shop. I'd kept it on my desk for 14 years. Marcus had never asked about it. Mom called me twice. The first time, she cried and asked how I could destroy the family like this. I told her Marcus destroyed it when he stole from me for over a decade. She hung up. The second call came 3 weeks later. Her voice was different. Smaller. I found some old papers in the garage. Your father's will. The business documents from 2001. Ryan, I didn't know Marcus cut you out. I didn't know. You never asked, I said. Not angry. Just factual. I'm sorry. I know. We haven't spoken since. Maybe we will someday. Maybe not. Some apologies come too late to matter. Marcus's life unraveled faster than I expected. Turns out, when you build a reputation on being a self-made genius, and people find out you stole half your success from your silent brother, the reputation doesn't survive. 3 clients pulled their contracts. His 40 under 40 award was quietly rescinded. Amanda filed for divorce 6 months later. I heard through mutual acquaintances that he's working as a sales director at a mid-sized firm in Seattle. Making 6 figures. Comfortable. Not wealthy. Probably bitter. I don't think about him much anymore. With my half of the sale, I did 3 things. First, I paid off my student loans. Second, I bought a small house in the mountains outside Portland. Nothing fancy. 2 bedrooms, a view of the forest, and an office where I can code in silence. Third, I started my own company. Donovan Digital Development. Solo operation. I take contracts I care about, work with people who respect me, and sleep well at night. Last month, a startup founder reached out. He'd heard about my case through the Portland tech community. I need a CTO I can trust, he said. Someone who knows what loyalty costs. We met for coffee. Talked for 3 hours. He offered me 20% equity, market rate salary, and a seat on the board. Contract signed by both parties, reviewed by Mitchell, airtight. I heard what happened with your brother, he said when we shook hands. That won't happen here. I know, I said. I read the contract. 300 people saw me stand up at that celebration. Within a week, the story had spread through the entire Portland tech scene. Not as gossip. As a warning. Ryan Donovan is not someone you screw over quietly. I didn't set out to become that person. I just refused to stay invisible. Some nights, I sit on my porch with a beer and think about Marcus. Not with anger anymore. Just observation. He had everything he needed to be successful legitimately. The charisma. The sales skills. The opportunities. But he wanted more than success. He wanted it all. And he wanted me to have nothing. In the end, we both got exactly half. Which is what we should have had from the beginning. People ask if I regret it. The lawsuit. The public confrontation. The family fallout. They ask if it was worth it. Here's what I tell them: for 23 years, I believed family meant unconditional loyalty. That blood was thicker than contracts. That good people who work hard get rewarded fairly. I was wrong about all of it. Family is only unconditional when both sides honor the condition of respect. Blood means nothing when it's used to bleed you dry. And good people who work hard don't get rewarded, they get exploited by those who talk louder. The only thing that protects you is documentation. Contracts. Evidence. And the willingness to stand up when everyone expects you to sit down. Was it worth it? Every single dollar. Not because of the money. Because for the first time in my life, I wasn't invisible. I wasn't the quiet brother. I wasn't the technical guy in the background. I was the owner. And that's what I'd been all along. If you're watching this and you've got a Marcus in your life, whether it's a sibling, a business partner, a friend who takes credit for your work, listen to me. Document everything. Every email. Every text. Every conversation where they promise you'll get your share eventually. Save it. Back it up. Timestamp it. Don't trust verbal agreements with people who have more to gain by forgetting them. And when the moment comes, when they're standing on that stage, taking all the credit, holding all the money, basking in glory built on your back, don't yell. Don't cry. Don't beg. Stand up. Walk to the front. And show everyone the receipts. Because the truth doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be documented. My brother sold his business for $3 million. At the celebration, I stood up with documents showing I actually owned half. And I watched him realize, in front of 300 people, that theft always has a reckoning. It just takes patience. If this story hit home, drop a comment below. Tell me about the person who tried to erase you. Tell me how you fought back. Or tell me you're still building your case, and you'll stand up when you're ready. Because I promise you, the day you stop being invisible is the day you start being free. And that's worth more than $3 million.